stop being lazy. Yeah. And I became creative. And I learned how to create it. And now that pride's for me. So come see. Oh, come here.
Welcome to the Silver Lining Not So Rapid Reaction. I am your boy Sterl today, just Sterl today, not in the mood to make nicknames. This is my co-host Cam. He's also not in the mood to make nicknames. I'm gonna just go ahead and let you know right now. Part of the reason
I got one for today.
So part of the reason it was coming so late is because I was so pissed off yesterday. Absolutely no mood to record. I think let's be real. I was in no mood to record. Y'all are in no mood to watch. I think we can all agree on that front. What you about to say, Cam?
I said I got a nickname for today.
Man, what's their nickname for today, Cam?
My nickname for today is Dad, because I am disappointed.
Oh.
And I don't even have kids either. I am single with no kids, and I feel like a disappointed father watching my kids be bad, and I gotta disappoint them.
My nickname Math. Cause I'm mad as fuck. Like, ooh, like look, guys. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead. I normally like to give the silver lining at the end, but we're going to sandwich the silver lining because I don't want this to just turn into a negative episode. But I got a big piece on my mind, right? Now, one of the silver linings is that in the grand scheme of things, this loss didn't change much for us. Tampa Bay lost. We stayed in the same place in the division. We still got our whole season ahead of us, and we still got a chance to go ahead and make the playoffs. Before the season, if you said, "Hey, we sweeping New Orleans," the answer was no. The answer was that we were splitting with them. That's what how we thought the season was gonna go. All right, but Cam, you want to add anything else to that part before I start getting into it?
I got one more silver lining, but I think it'd be best to save for later when we get to talk about that side of the ball. So we can discuss that as the episode progresses.
All right. So the loss was infuriating. I think we fucking know that, right? For the Saints to be on a 7 fucking game losing streak, for them to not have anything else to play for this to basically make their season.
Oh, you have to continue building it. Not only were they on a 7-game losing streak.
We just getting started.
They also are without their two best receivers, who could potentially be done for the season. They also lost their number one rated cornerback, who's a Pro Bowler.
Multiple-time Pro Bowler.
Multi-time Pro Bowler.
The coach got fired. They got a new coach in. And you know what's fucking crazy about losing this game? If you would have fucking told me going into this fucking game that we hold them to 20 points, I would have said, put your money on it. That's a dub. We scored at least 21. And Cool gonna go out there and Young done lost his way. Cool. That's his new nickname for me, bro. I've been peeping this man, Cool. Been having some shaky kicking. And it finally came to fucking roost at the time that is so Falcon. That's the hardest part about being a Falcons fan. It's never that the team loses. You can deal with that. But we always have to lose in the most ignominious, shameful, embarrassing ways. This is the one fucking game you can't lose like that. We could have lost to Tampa and won this game instead. And that would affect the standing. That affects actual standing. You got to know what this game means to you as a fan for that shit, right? And I'm just like, of course. And y'all wonder why people don't fill up the stadium. Y'all wonder why people ain't just buying out, right? This is a large reason why. Because when you put your foot forward, when you decide you about to exhibit blind faith in the team, that is when they will punch your lights out.
I heard a very good analogy for being a Falcons fan.
Yo, man, which one? You know the one.
It's like every time you get on a roller coaster, no matter what, you could be having the time of your life. But at some point on that ride, you're gonna get punched in the dick. It could be at the beginning, it could be at the end. It could be at the very end when you think, oh, I just had the time of my life. This is the greatest trip I've ever had. I'm gonna hop on again. Boom. You got punched in the dick. You can't avoid it. You can't escape it. God. It doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, the Falcons are gonna punch you in the dick.
Bruh, anything short of winning the Super Bowl this year is not going to. And you know why? It's not because they have to win a Super Bowl this year. I knew what we were getting into, but the only thing that would be proper get back is to win the Super Bowl in their stadium.
That's the only thing.
No matter what they say, they could be like, "Oh, we still beat y'all that year on our little fucking 5-12 season." Yeah, we won the Super Bowl in your building. Shut the fuck up. And we partied and we had our own Mardi Gras in your city. Like, you gotta understand, I do not like these niggas. And let me tell you something, right? So I, growing up as a fan of sports, used to never like be hateful about the rivalries in certain ways. I'm like, yeah, whatever, you know what I'm saying? They got players I like, I respect, da 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 da. But watching, like, I used to feel bad for Saints and Saints fans and shit. I remember that as a kid. You know what I'm saying? We used to come over there. We used to whip up on what was his name? Jim Haslett and Aaron Brooks was the quarterback, I think. Yeah, just used to, and Joe Horn, we used to whip up. I used to know their players and shit. And then it seemed like them niggas got Drew Brees and Sean Payton, and they started winning some more games in the series, and the fans lost their fucking minds. I'm like, oh, I hate these niggas. Like, I don't even hate the players, but I hate y'all. I hate the fans. Like, these niggas is unbelievable. And then now I done bought in. I hate the Saints so much. Like, yesterday, I wasn't just mad my football team lost yesterday, mad. I was like legitimately real life mad. I was like, oh shit, boy, I cannot record today or I'm gonna lose my job, boy. Why the fuck out on this podcast? Boy, I was pissed. Oh man, bro! Like, I'm watching. I don't even remember if it was Ray McCloud or whoever caught that final pass, and it was running, and I'm just watching the clock tick down, and I'm like, that's not the first down. You ain't gonna have enough time. Yeah. And then he ran out of bounds, and I just see the thing cut to the Saints fan. Like, I couldn't even figure out what to do with the laptop, the right way to turn that shit off. I just closed the laptop, and I got up and started throwing punches at the air. The jersey had to come down. I was like, man, like, you ever seen hold on, but I needed a drink after that shit. And let me tell you something. I don't know what y'all know about animals, right? So with elephants are real large, right? But despite being so large, they do not process alcohol well, which wouldn't be a problem. In fact, it actually would be quite funny, except they don't turn into cute, stumbly, drunk elephants. They get pissed. They are angry drunks. It's like they're like, I'm drunk and I'm mad, and I'm mad because I'm drunk, and then they start rampaging and shit. That was me yesterday. I was an angry ass elephant, bro. I was pissed. Boy, and then I just started thinking about shit. I'm like, oh, when the motherfuckers had a 7-game losing streak and they break that shit against us. In the same building they embarrassed us in last year. And then, like, boy, I was just so mad. And then with limited weapons, their coach got fired. We knew they had a new coach boost or whatever. That was cool and all. But we played down. They
That's
didn't
the
like
trend.
fucking get extra inspired. And boy, let me tell you, when Alvin Kamara dropped that fucking touchdown, I thought it was a gift from God.
No, that's
I
a good
thought that
God
was a
showing
gift.
us.
I thought that was divine. I was like, yo, that's it. That would be the best way for us to win. For them to watch victory slip right through their best player fingers. On the day he broke the all-time Saints rushing record. To get that W, to make that, ooh, that would have been worth so much. That would have been worth them doing what they did last year to get it that way. It would have
It
been
sucks.
worth it. It would have been worth the taste of revenge.
It sucks that team is 3-7, and we were their Super Bowl win for the year.
Oh, yeah, they got their Super Bowl victory. They got 2 rings as far as they're concerned.
They beat us when it mattered, man.
They got 2 rings
2-7.
as far as they're concerned.
We played down, and you know what? Now is the time to talk about that second silver lining.
Yeah,
The
man, I
defense
need it.
actually
Talk
didn't
to me,
play
brother.
bad, especially in the second half. In the first half,
Yeah, they were
some
shaky as hell.
suspect plays, but in the second half, how many points did we give up in the second half?
I want to say just 3.
We
I
gave
think it
up
was
3
17 to
points in the
7.
second half. That's it. The
I mean, we
defense.
should have gave up 10. Alvin Kamara was walking in, but
Hey, it don't matter. He dropped that pass.
he did.
It don't matter. He dropped it.
Yeah.
They gave up 3 points. That's it. And we still lose.
Oh my God, bro. Koo missed 3 field goals. He missed 2 and had 1 block. Oh
And
my
I'm not
God.
gonna bash on Koo like that, because let's talk about how many games Koo has actually won us.
Bruh,
Like, Koo's having a bad year. He's having a bad year. But let's talk about how many games Koo has actually won us. So I'm gonna give him, as mad as I am at Koo, I'm not that mad at him, because
if he made 1 more, we in overtime, Cam.
That's true. But if Kirk didn't lose 2 fumbles and throw an interception, the game wouldn't have been that close in the first place.
He didn't lose those 2. He did fuck it up, though. He lost 1 and we recovered it. Drake London recovered it. And then he fumbled a second one, and it flew all the way back there, and Jake Matthews had to recover it. And look, I'm about to get on him, too, because I'm like, yo, my nigga Kirk, the ball security you starting to show is alarming, right?
Look at my Ritter out
there. It shouldn't, yo, bro. It seemed like every time you get contacted by him, it seemed like seriously. I'm gonna look up how many fumbles he has and how many times he's been sacked. I guarantee. How much money you want to put on it right now? It's over 40%.
I ain't trying to go broke.
Yep. I guarantee you, it's over 40%. He damn near coin flipping whether or not he gonna fumble if somebody hit him.
Dog. I don't know what it is.
I'm like, yo, what the fuck, Kurt? Like,
and the crazy thing is, as bad as Koo played, I put that loss more on Kirk than Koo. Yeah, Koo missed them kicks. Yeah, Koo was.
And then that pick, bro. That pick was kind of.
He can legitimately be the guy you could blame on. Like, I can see that.
Pick was.
Koo is the easy scapegoat, but for me, it's Kirk.
Nah, he rightful, bro.
That interception was egregious. That interception was egregious. You breathe on Kirk and he drops the ball twice. We're looking able to recover him, but still, those
like
are drive-killing fumbles, dog. The game shouldn't have even been that close. We shouldn't have even been relying on Koo.
But I mean, like, you gotta rely on guys sometimes, man. Sometimes your kicker gotta win the game, and like Koo missing kicks. That I'm like, yo, cool. That's too short for me to turn the blind out of that. Like, I'm like, bruh. And then, like, he missing, and then the scary part, too. You know, at first I thought, Koo with his new kicking motion, he just missing just to the left. I'm like, oh, okay. That's still statistical significantly accurate. That just means, like, you're not hitting it through the uprights, but you hitting them consistently to the same area. Some small tweaks and you good. But one of them hit the upright on the right side. I'm like, oh no, Koo got the yips. He done lost his sauce. I'm saying it, bro. Like, look, I'm silent about it because
I'm gonna give him one more game. I ain't gonna just Couldn't blame
Like,
him after that.
bruh, he done got lucky in some of these situations, and I'm like, yo, cool. Like, yo, what the fuck going on, brother? Like, yo, what is this dude field goal accuracy? Like, hold on, let's find that shit. Like, what
This
is
season has got to be
going
bad. It's not
on?
good this year. But hey, like I said before, we had what 7 wins last year. Cool hit game winners on like half of them. So like and then the year before he did the same thing. So I'm not gonna just bash him and make it seem like he's done, he's washed, or we
That
made
boy
him
is 70.8% this season.
Oh, that's terrible.
That boy is 70.8. He's closer to being 50-50 than 100. You know, hey, just so y'all know, this ain't basketball. All right? This ain't 70% from the field. Oh, that's great. No, bro. This ain't basketball. It don't work like that. This ain't baseball where you hitting. If you hitting 70%, 700 in baseball, boy, you going in the Hall of Fame off that season alone. You
Yeah,
shooting 70% as a basketball player, you going in the Hall of Fame off that season alone. You shoot 70% as a kicker, boy, you might not have a job next year.
You might not have a job midway through the season.
Yo, especially if all your kick misses come at the bad time. And I'm like, damn. And like, it sucks because look, I like Cool, you know. I'm a Georgia Southern Eagle. Cool Eagle, baby. Hail Southern. Gotta. You know, with like that, all of that. You know what I'm saying? Cool, you know, and so like it ain't personal when I say that I can't help but notice that Cool has had an issue, and this year it finally came. And look, maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe, you know, my emotions about the loss, about who the missed kicks were to in this case, because I think he missed one in the first game. He missed one in the first game against the Saints. And then we had to do that hurry up job, and he had to kick that 58-yarder to send it to overtime.
No, in the
But he
first
missed
game,
another one in that one.
he missed the same field goal twice. So we kicked it.
Yeah.
The Saints had a penalty, and then we kicked it, or they called a timeout, or I forgot what happened. And then he had to kick the same field goal.
Hold on, was that the Saints or was that the Bucks?
I forgot, it was one of those teams, but
See
he
what I'm
kicked the
saying?
same field goal twice and missed it twice.
And didn't he miss one against Seattle?
I believe so. He hasn't had a great season.
Bro,
Hey, I'm
like,
still not gonna crucify him just yet.
look.
He has won too many games
No,
for us
wait,
when we
I might be
admit.
remembering it wrong. Because he got, well, do they count blocks as misses?
I wouldn't count a block as a miss. If you get a
Yeah,
hand
okay,
on it, that's
maybe
not a
because
miss.
I'm like, all right, maybe he got some more. It's because of the blocks. He's got at least 2 blocked this year, and he got the misses that are like, oh, but but like, look, I'm gonna keep it a buck, right? So all right, there's a piece of me that can admit I'm a little overreacting because of the situation, and sometimes you do gotta have faith in him, like, you know. Cool at his best when his confidence is good. You know what I'm saying? Right now, Cool going through a rough patch, and I know his confidence shaky. That's why I was kind of scared of this day coming, because I'm like, hey man, when you a guy who real accurate, it's something about when you just start missing, when you feel like you ain't changed up your routine, it gets to you. Hey, I remember it used to be this kicker for the Colts. I'm about to take you down his memory lane.
I think I know who you're talking
Mike Vanderjagt. You remember?
Vanderjagt, yep.
Yeah, he was the most accurate kicker in NFL history. And he missed a relatively short kick in the playoffs against the Steelers. And for those who need context of how important that kick was,
The Steelers made the Super Bowl that year.
the Steelers basically had the game in total. So yeah, the Steelers went to and won the Super Bowl that year, I believe.
It was 05, right? Yeah, it was 05.
Yeah, that was the year they won the Super Bowl. And what happened was Steelers had the game in tow. Hand off to Jerome Bettis, the Hall of Famer, who's a very large running back. The thing he does is get the goal line carries and run it in. He's a 250 plus pound back. That dude was way more than 250, right? Like, if we being real, ain't no way he only 200. Like, I'm 240. Ain't no way he was only 250. But boy, that boy done fumbled on the goal line, and the Colts picked up the ball. And they looked like they had a easy touchdown run back, but Ben Roethlisberger tripped him up. They moved the ball, got it into a relatively short field goal. I know it was under 50 yards.
It was like 45.
Yeah. And Vanderjack missed it badly, and he was never the same. He was out of the league 2 years after that. Went from all-time leader in accuracy to out of the league. It is a scary thing for a kicker to lose their sauce. Am I overacting? Absolutely. There is no reason for me to necessarily be going that far into it right now. But I am concerned for Koo up here. All right. Somebody got to talk to Koo. Koo got to see a psychologist, whatever. He need he need to figure out what's going on up here that's making him miss it down there. Because I know his
One thing I
confidence
will
got to be
say
shook.
that I did like how Arthur Blank did kind of console him. And Koo did look at, because I saw the clip at the end of the game. Koo, he looked like, yeah, this loss is on me. He took accountability for it. He spoke up about it after the game. So Koo did all the right things you're supposed to do. And granted, like I said before, he is the scapegoat for this loss. But to me, it's less Koo and more Kirk.
Yeah.
Kirk
Because
looked like Kirk
if I
looked like postseason folds into himself Kirk that we've seen before. That looked bad. Like that last fourth down pass that was 3 yards short of the sticks. That was gonna be run out of time anyways. I was like, Doc, this looked like something he's done in the playoffs before. Like it looked bad, dog. Like in the whole game. Like the game looked like the moment was too big. Like for the team in itself. Like it just I can't even say that for Bijan because he put up a good performance. But as a whole, like the team, it wasn't a great performance. We left too many points on the board. And I'll say this, kind of my biggest point. We are closer, even though we've made all these additions, we've made all these improvements, we are still closer to being a mid team than a good team. And I say that because good teams find a way to win. Case in point, look at last night's Sunday night game. Detroit versus
I
Houston.
didn't watch that. I turned on football for the night, man.
Derek
I didn't see the
Goff,
score. I was scoreboard
Derek
watching.
Goff threw 5 interceptions, and they still found a way to win.
Yep.
Good teams find a way to win. And granted, their kicker made 2 important kicks when it mattered the most, and ours didn't. But even take that aside, dude. Good teams find a way to win. And at times when these moments happen, we have not found a way to win. Granted, there have been times we have. There have been times we have. We've won some of those games this year, but as a whole, like in order for me to have that true belief, that true we can make a deep playoff run belief, we got to stop beating ourselves. And that's a trend that's a trend the Falcons have not gotten over yet. We have not figured out a way to stop beating ourselves. And once we can stop being our own worst enemy and just only losing to our competition, then I'll feel like we've made the next step. But until then, I'm watching every week. I'm gonna enjoy the games every week, but I haven't seen that yet.
Look, man. I think another one of the hard things about a loss like this is it gives you old Falcons vibes, right? Like too many times before you've seen Falcons vibes, right? Because I did want to piggyback off of something you said. So when you said, finding ways to win, I'll admit that I feel like the Falcons have done a lot of that as well. All right. Like I look at that Eagles game, you know, what's his name? Saquon Barkley. He dropped what should have been a game sealing pass. He dropped it. He dropped it. But the Falcons still had to traverse the length of the field to get that score to put them ahead. And what did they go for 2 after that? Is that what happened? Did they have to go for 2? Or did they kick an extra point? I think they had to go for 2, right?
I believe we did. I
So
can't remember if we got it or not.
no, there's no way we went for 2. Because we went 22-21. We wouldn't have gone for 2 in that situation, I don't think. I ought to remember that if they went for a game-winning 2-point conversion. They definitely had to just kick an extra point. But
Even the OT against Tampa. That was
that's what I'm
way
saying.
to win.
Had to win an OT, and they had to execute down the stretch of that game to get in field goal position to kick that long field goal, which Koo made with the game on the line
Which
and
is why
then
I'm not
performing
ready
over
to
two.
crucify him yet, because he's
Yeah,
done that this year, man.
for
We've
us,
shown
yeah.
glimpses. That we've shown glimpses, but good teams do it all the time. Good teams don't beat themselves. They let the other team beat them. They let the other team, oh, you got us on your best day. You was just able to beat us. They good teams don't say, oh, we beat ourselves, and
Right.
we still beat ourselves.
Yeah. Look, I won't disagree with you there. That was just it's sickening. Like this is a game where for you to probably evaluate as a fan, you gotta strip the colors and the emotions off of the game, the colors of the other team off the jersey, strip your personal emotions, and because this game don't have to be like a regular season game. You know, it's a game against a divisional opponent. We know about the interim coach Booch XYZ, but it really didn't matter, and it was just I think it's because the emotional investment in the game uh makes you feel that way. I looked at it and I'm like, hey man, look, got a chance to beat our rivals, sweep our rivals, remain undefeated in the division. You know, make Alvin Kamara take a loss on the game that he broke the Saints all-time rushing record. A game where the Saints led all game. That was another thing that kind of sucked ass that really pissed me off. That we had basically a wire-to-wire loss. Like as soon as the Saints took the lead, they never relinquished it. Um, but if we would have been able to pull that out at the end, that would have been great. Um, all right. And the other thing too that now what did disappoint me, and this is just talking from a football perspective. I've said that the one thing that I think was going to really limit the team, offensively was a defense that could play tight press man coverage and pressure the passer. If they could do that against us, they could be successful. The thing that was always supposed to give me solace is that everybody's just not going to be able to do that. Going into the game, ain't no way you was going to tell me the team that didn't have Marshawn Lattimore, didn't have Paulson Adebo, that's their 1 and 2 corners, didn't have Kool-Aid McKinstry, they high round draft pick corner. So they short all those guys. Ain't no way they about to beat us playing press man coverage with the guys they gonna try out on the field after. They still had Alontae Taylor. They had Tyrann Mathieu, and for him to get that pick too, man. That another thing that shat the bed about that was that Tyrann was kind of getting made to look like a fool that game.
He was.
We was making that man look like maybe it's time to start thinking about cutting Tyrann too when they start cutting all them contracts. Well, we had him looking silly. But then he get to be the hero at the end, getting that pick. That really, I see what Kirk was doing, but like, if the play is the play that Greg Olsen outlined, which is that it was basically an option that he could either threw a deep dig to Drake London or throw to the tight end. He did make the wrong decision, and like, I know he wanted to anticipate that window, but he also stared him down. You can't do both. All right, now if you're gonna throw an anticipatory throw, but you staring down your receiver, I mean, it's not really anticipating. You're leading him. You know what I'm saying? Like when you look at the throw, like Drake's not even like I think even if Tyrann Mathieu's not there, that throw was missed by far enough that I'm like, well, you didn't even have a chance. Not really. Like I guess he was just trying to figure that Drake was gonna be in that window by the time he was just trying to time Drake's break into the window and then threw it straight to Tyrann instead of Drake coming across because Drake, like Drake's trajectory, if he's there in time, it's not an inaccurate pass in that way. It's not like Tyrann Mathieu wasn't close enough to make a play on Drake. Right? It's basically that's like the equivalent of an overthrow and the guy just center field in it a little bit. But it looked a little different because he crashed down on it, and Drake just wasn't in that window. So like, that's one of them throws that maybe you look at it and say, if the timing was on point, we say, damn, that's a good throw, man. Kirk fit that one in there, da da da. But because it didn't work out, you look at the read and you just can only notice, oh yeah, Kirk effed up, right?
Exactly.
In a clutch situation. Then in another clutch situation, he gets sacked. And like I'm trying to be responsible in my criticism of his fumbles. Because the difference between him and Ritter, and look, we was ready to call him Kirkman Ritter. Kirkman Consider.
Oh man.
But the difference, like Desmond Ritter, bro, did he ever fumble not having anybody hit him in the hands? Like at least Kirk, admittedly, he's in his throwing motion when the ball gets hit. So like that's a reasonable situation. But when you holding the ball right here and somebody just slap it out your hands all the time, you got no ball security. Do you got little hands? Because maybe you just can't fit your hands all the way around the ball. That's why it's come out so easy. Because I watch a lot of plays, quarterbacks with bigger hands, they hit it and it don't fall, or maybe it slip a little, but they can hold on. I'm trying to remember with the one that Drake recovered, the one that Chase Young. Yo, speaking of which, both of them sacks, didn't Jake Long give up both of those sacks? I mean, Jake Long, Jake Matt, Jake Long. Jake Matthew, it's still almost Falcon Jake Long. He actually had like 2 stints where he was almost a Falcon. He could have been a Falcon when he got drafted, but he got drafted #1 overall. And Matt Ryan got drafted 2 picks later, #3 overall. And then there was another time where we had Jake Matthews on like the practice squad. He was recovering from injury. This was like well past his best years. And then my bad. I'm watching you wipe your eye with your middle finger, and you're like, "Hey man, fuck this Jake Long guy, Sterl. Get on." But yeah. Jake Matthews. Wow, man. What we gave up 3 sacks, I think, too. Like, and the sacks are a byproduct of the tight, sticky coverage. So like. It raises other concerns because of one of the things that did scare me about that is that I look at how they played us in the past game, and if they're able to play that kind of coverage on our receivers, that means that we're just not getting the separation from that position that we thought we were necessarily getting. And if we're being real, the best separator is going to be Mooney as far as separating with speed. Like London can separate, but he's going to separate with route running. That's it's different. Mooney has some good catches, and to be fair, Kirk didn't have like a complete basura game.
Oh yeah, Mooney had a good game. As a whole, Mooney played well.
That one where we had that dangerously close, the Bijan touchdown, that was dangerously close to us being a turnover on downs. That throw
and catch
over Alontae Taylor, yeah, that was a thing of beauty. The catch and the throw were both a thing of beauty. Like I don't think there was a single play because when I watched it, the coverage was still very good. They were still the very same sticky coverage they've been playing, but that's one of them throws that make you say, "Hey, there's no defense for the perfect throw." Because that guy was in his pocket, he was covering him, but Kirk just laid it out right over him, and Mooney made it happen, and thank God they was able to score. The other thing, he challenged something that I didn't think he should have challenged. What was it?
It was a catch made incompletion by Ray. Or it was either Ray or Bijan that hit the ground.
The Saints challenged that one. The Saints used both of their challenges and won both of them.
It was one of those where it was an incomplete pass, but he challenged it. He shouldn't have. It was very obvious.
Yeah, I remember thinking, I'm like, what are you doing here? Don't challenge that.
Granted, it didn't matter in the grand scheme of things.
Did it? Was that in the second half?
I mean, we didn't need the challenge for the second half. The challenge was
no. Was the challenge in the second half?
I thought it was in the first half.
I can't remember. But if it was in,
I was pretty sure it was the first half challenge.
I think it was the second half. I think I remember us having 3 timeouts at the end of the first half. And
You might be right. You might be right.
and that's the reason I bring up timeouts. When you challenge something and you get it wrong, they do this thing where they burn a timeout.
Good point.
And you know what would have been real fucking helpful at the end of that game?
An additional timeout.
One more timeout. But oh boy, this is one of the ones where, as the coach, bro, you got one or two things. You either gonna just throw this game out and get them focused the next week, or you got to try to like take the emotion from this game and get them focused for next week. Because like you got to go on the road again, and you got to go in a hard place to play, and it's the last game you got before you bye. Troy Anderson.
And Denver does a lot of things that we are bad at. They do a lot of things well that we are bad at defending, like running the ball. Denver runs the ball very well. We are bad at defending the run. We have a terrible run defense. And they have a mobile QB. We are terrible at defending mobile quarterbacks.
We're terrible at doing anything with quarterbacks. You can't pressure them.
This is going to be interesting. This is going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. I'm excited just to see how. I mean, this is a later edition podcast episode, but just kind of talking about it now. Us versus Denver, last game before I bye. I'm praying we can get a dub, but after seeing this past performance, who knows? Denver has a pretty solid defense.
They do, but they're susceptible to the run. So that's good for us because I was scared we were going to choke up as far as running the ball. In the beginning, they were slowing us down, but after a while, boy, Bijan was going crazy. Tyler was going crazy. They like we ran the hell out of the ball against them, and we can do the same against Denver. The main thing is, I don't know if we can move the ball well enough to make it a trap meet. See, so Denver does do the thing that I am scared about, which is sticky coverage and pressure. You know what I'm saying? Like when you get teams that can play sticky coverage and pressure, that's where the lack of mobility of your quarterback does matter. Because when you got a mobile quarterback, you can punish all them times where they turn their head to run with the receivers because you got a guy who can take advantage of man coverage running the ball. You got a guy who can buy his own time until receivers get open. But when you have to depend on the timing of a play, when you have to depend on guys just getting open on schedule, that's where you get games like this where Kirk did have a lot of yards. But you saw like his completion percentage was way lower than it normally is.
Yeah.
Like now you got to throw against these tight windows and these challenged throws. Like even some of the best ones we had, like that Kyle Pitts 4th down.
Ooh.
But that was that play, that drive made me think that we had figured out that all right, sometimes the coach got to scheme everything up, but sometimes you got to say, hey, we drafted all these goddamn first round players. Let players make plays. That touchdown that Bijan got, a play that happened because Bijan's special. He got the balance and he got the speed to make it to the sideline, the balance to stay in bounds, the contact balance to take any contact, and then the speed to finish off the run. Because he had guys gaining that first, and then he got the top speed and just ran away. So 36-yard touchdown. That play with Kyle Pitts on the sideline, Mooney couldn't have made that play. That's the play that you get your 6'6", 4-4 running tight end for. Right? And like the speed didn't really get him open that play, but the length did. Like all of it. You can watch, if you rewatch the play, you see the cornerback like holding him, but he able to use the length of his arms to push him off of his body. So that once the ball gets to the part, he could just get his arms free. And you see that like the guy, he's still like chest up, but his arms just way too long.
That's
caught it without even having to contest on his hands.
That's 6'6" versus 5'9".
Yeah, man, that's that reach, and that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes, and that's where Kurt gonna have to, start learning. And I say start because Kirk has shown a history to me in the past of trusting his guys. Right. So I think sometimes like you could see it early in the season, I could tell he wasn't really in the mood. He always kind of need a guy to be open. But sometimes, man, you gotta say, hey, I got a big dude, big hands and long arms. Let me just go ahead and throw it away from the corner. And even if the guy's covering him, he'll make a play. All right. Um, so the defense was shaky because they gave up several explosive plays. They should have given up one at the end, but admittedly, that was a good play call. That's kind of that thing I talked to you about when I say, on certain critical situations, when it's like, third and whatever, or fourth and whatever, when it's like critical situations like that, you shouldn't just go for the sticks because that's what everybody's thinking. They're thinking guard the sticks because they think you're just going to go for the minimum that you need. And if you're aggressive, you'll find, openings down the field. And so that was one of those situations where they played like they were going to run it short. And then Kamara went down the field and he was wide open. So I won't, kill the defense for that. That was that's like a situational bust. But, you know, the worst part though, too, another bad thing was that's for me anyway, was we talk about it all the time with Carl. We talk about it all the time. You gotta get pressure on him. We knew we weren't getting pressure, but I say, hey, he's a guy who he is a special thrower of the ball when you're not getting pressure on him. But when you get pressure on him, everything special goes out the window. Tell me you didn't see that happen that game.
Oh yeah, Carr looked like a Pro Bowler, and I'm like, this guy is this the same Carr that was
Nah,
throwing
when he wasn't
hospital
getting
balls
pressure.
and this guy's knocked out the game, and it's the
Remember
same Carr?
that intentional grounding throw he had?
Yeah,
Or how many of them throws? His throw was just way off once we got some pressure on him.
yeah.
But when you didn't get pressure on him, though,
Look like
he
Tom
always
Brady
throws
out
them
there.
deep balls right in the guy's hands, right? Because that's what Carr does. That's like literally his ticket to the NFL. That if you are not pressuring him and he got a deep route on, his timing, his accuracy, his touch is going to put it right in. Like the part where everybody calling him a receiver killer or whatever, that's when you're getting pressure on him. But you let him sit back there and throw it, and it's going to be a dime. All right? Now, for this, thankfully, Bo Nick's not there yet.
But hey,
So,
they got Sean Payton, and he is also a Falcon killer. So
yeah, he fucking is. Oh, my God, we can't lose to them in back-to-back weeks, bro. Y'all got to understand.
it's shaping up like that, though. I ain't
This
gonna lie.
shit took some serious, like, fortitude for me to even be on here tonight. Y'all just almost didn't get the episode. I was pissed. Boy, I'm not gonna lie, though. I almost wish I would have recorded then. Y'all would have had a good solid hour of me just ranting, going off, teeing off. That shit would have been cathartic, boy. Y'all boys would have been right here with me. Gotta be like, yeah, that's another thing. That's another thing. I was like, I hate these. Ooh. But like we said, there's not all negatives to take from this game. Honestly, Kirk had the 2 fumbles and he had the pig. And in the first half, we was kind of mediocre, but we didn't look completely inept on offense. The defense, more or less, put the cuffs on them, ka-chink, ka-chink, in the second half. So that part was business as usual. I guess at least the defense didn't get worse. All right. Because who did we play the week before? We played Cowboys. So we technically gave up less points on the road to the Saints than we did the Cowboys. All
We
right.
did. We did.
Even though we know the Cowboys scored, in garbage time. But the point being, if there's another week, you get to say, hey, if they just figure out how to do in the first half what they do in the second half, we might have a good defense here. All right. This is a loss that because of the emotional attachment we got, I'm gonna be pissed. I expect you to be pissed. I know Cam pissed. But if we keep proper perspective on it, We still there is a veritable silver lining. All right. We 6-4. Ask yourself, what did you expect the Falcons to be going into the bye? Like I literally on the last episode said, hey, who called 6-3 at this point? I said that. So we didn't expect to have 6 wins at that point in the season already.
That's true. That's
So
very
nothing's
true.
changed about that, right? Um, our season is still ahead. Hey, we've already locked up a winning record in the division. That's already more than we can say for Arthur Smith. Arthur Smith only ever had 3 wins. We never went more than 500 in the division. Yeah, you didn't even know that, did you? Never went more than 500 in the division. We already still got that locked up, right? It's just one game. Whether we would have won or whether we would have lost. Because if we would have won, we would have like been gloating and shit. But at the end of the day, we would have also been like, hey, it's just one game. You know what I'm saying? Now that would have made a loss to the Broncos more palatable. A loss out of conference, a loss on the road in a notoriously hard place to play, a loss after beating the Saints right before the bye. That would have been a whole different situation. But sometimes maybe the team need to get their ass kicked to stay focused. I know it's gonna leave a bitter taste in their mouth, so hopefully they, can go ahead and take care of business. Bijan had an amazing day again. Like Bijan is, I would say out of all the guys we drafted in the first round, on for the offensive talent over the years, he's the skill player that's blooming the most.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I think
Absolutely.
he's starting to actually like really hit that tier that's like Lindstrom our all pro. Bijan gonna be hitting that all pro level. All right. Matter of fact, hold on. Who would be an all pro leader? Derrick Henry for sure. But what they usually use two running backs for first team.
I think so. I think they typically use 2.
So that's something to look forward to. Bijan this game still helped Bijan have a legitimate chance at having an all pro season this year. Another game with like 150 yards from scrimmage. You know what I'm saying? So, and 2 more touchdowns. Um, what else did we do? Did we see anything? Troy Anderson back. We didn't see a ton of him. But it's his first game back. He was out way longer than we thought. We may be getting Dahlman back, although I think Dahlman seems to be. I don't know why they ramping him up so slow, but maybe that's their process for bringing guys back because Troy seemed like he could have came back earlier too, but they kept him out further and then brought him back this week. The run defense looked better in the second. It wasn't just like the defense looked everything that the Saints was doing that looked good in the first half. The Falcons kind of put a lid on that. So we back to at least having that comfort of knowing that okay, they can make some adjustments. You know what I'm saying? That like that, to me that kind of confirms it because I know I was hearing people saying that they're not making adjustments. They just got ballers balling. Guys are just Jesse Bates getting turned. Well, we didn't get a turnover this game, and the defense still found ways to get stops. You know what I'm saying? Now it would have felt a lot. Judon had a better game this game. I saw him flash on some pressures a couple times. So long story short, the defense has shown that they can make adjustments. I don't think it's just players just playing better like people be saying that. I'm like, nah, they making adjustments. So because like the amount of yards per run the Saints were getting in the second half was way lower. So I
We only
mean,
gave up 3
there's
points.
hmm?
We only gave up 3 points in the second half. Like the
Yeah,
defense held their own. We gave up 20 points as a team. This was a special teams and an offensive failing. I mean, the
yeah.
offense was able to move the ball. But hey, how many times has Matt Ryan been able to move the ball, but we lose the game because we can't get the ball in the end zone? So it's nothing we're not used to as a Falcons fan. So like it's little things we got to improve on. Like you said before, it's not the end of the world. We're 6-4. We go into Denver. hostile territory. They're coming off a heartbreaking loss to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Well, they are going to be hungry. They're going to want to win. We just
They
came off a
they feel like
heartbreaking
they should have
loss.
won last week. Yeah.
We just came off a heartbreaking loss. We're going to be hungry. We're going to want to win. Luckily, I think we have the better quarterback. I think we have the better offense. Defensive wise, Denver can produce a little bit more pressure than we can. But hey, overall, I think we have the better team. Coaching wise, Sean Payton can dial up anything. So I know scheme wise, they're going to be ready. They're going to come ready to play. But other than that, I'd give the edge to us going into next week. Granted, I know this is just like a recap of a reaction video, but just like a little preview for next week. I think we have the little bit of overall edge. But we're the Falcons, so who knows? I'm waiting to get punched in the dick.
Hey, yo, man. Just keep your hands like this, like that, like that. Like pretend you about to pretend somebody got a free kick and you a soccer player.
That's the thing, man. You're always on the ride. You got your hands up. Whoa, yeah, having a good time. And then, bow! Right in the dick, man.
Yeah.
Every time.
We'll there's definitely an emotional low for the year. I feel like I think that's the other thing that's most disappointing about it. You know, the lowest emotional part of the year before this, I would say week 1. I would say even the Seahawks loss didn't make me feel like this. The Seahawks loss was like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? It was a bad loss. It was the turnovers, but it felt like, again, they just got out of hand and they came out flat and they made a lot of mistakes. But I would say that that one, you know, that one was more so worse than the Chiefs loss, but it wasn't as bad as how I felt about the Falcons after the Steelers loss.
Oh, I thought it was the same old Falcons. The whole same old Desmond Ritter bullshit we were going through last year.
Yeah, no, oh yeah. Tell me you weren't ready to throw the season.
For what? Are we the same team? That's what it felt like. It was an overreaction. It was week 1. Week 1.
Look, that shit had that was like would it be in the first one and with the offense looking like that, and then we lost to like the Steelers, like they couldn't even score a touchdown and they won, and you know, and then Jake Matthews was getting beat like a rented mule, like he was getting like his.
Hey,
I was watching some Bleach Johnson videos. You know who Bleach Johnson is?
Hindsight 2020, because the Steelers are 7-2.
And they just won again. They just beat 7-2. Yeah.
And they're doing it well. They're playing well-rounded football. They can run the ball. They have a fantastic defense.
Bro, getting Russell.
Russ is playing like Danger Russ. He's playing like 2013 Seattle Russ. I'm like, Mike Tomlin, he probably getting coach of the year this year. It might be Mike Tomlin's job. He might get coach of the year for this.
That's probably the real reason he stayed with Justin Fields. He's like, gotta motivate Russ a little more. Can't just let him earn it, just walk into it like that. Got to make him think he's about to lose it. And then after that, then all of a sudden now Russ said, Russ said he started boxing again. You know what I'm saying? Like he said he had stopped doing that for a while, and you know he started getting back in the gym and boxing and shit. And I don't know, maybe that helped him get his cardio up. But he not like doing it the way he used to do it though. But I mean, you know, he still got like one of the prettiest deep balls in the league, and he's still mobile enough. So
mobile enough.
Yeah, like he can't do all the stuff he used to do, but he's still mobile enough, and he's still, like I said, still got one of the best deep balls in the league. And that mobile enough part I always bring up because, you know, I talk about Carr. You know, Carr got a great deep ball too, but he just doesn't. He doesn't have the mobility to make the pressure not threaten him. Whereas Russell, you know, he got enough mobility to make the pressure not threaten him as much. Like he know he can escape it. But yeah, look, it's am I upset? Hell yeah. Was I so upset that I stayed home yesterday? I cut off all football and boy, look. Whoo! Yeah. It's the reason why y'all getting this now instead of then. But it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. For the Saints, they about to be like on an emotional low for the rest of the, or maybe they, it gets some funny shit happen and then they win just enough to miss out on a quarterback. And then they get to be in quarterback purgatory or whatever, as we so well know, is a place that you can easily get stuck in. And it sucks. Yeah, man, look, anything else you want to add, Cam?
Hey, it was a bad loss, frustrating loss, disappointing loss. Falcons, I gotta send them back to their room, think about their consequences for the evening. But aside from that, I still love them deep down in my heart, and I'm still gonna be there, rooting for them. Come 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, whatever time we play on Sunday, I'll be there rooting for them. So, hey man, fingers crossed we split off, but if not, it is what it is, man. Hey, even if we do lose, we'll be 6-5 going into the bye. Hey, all we need is 9 wins to get the division. Hell, it might even be 8, but really 9, because right now the Bucks are 4-6. I doubt they win 5 straight games. I doubt they won 5 of the last 6 games. I doubt that. So I damn near think the division's kind of wrapped up at this point. We just gotta find a way to
They got some easy ones. We can make it tight now. Let me tell you something.
We the Falcons. We
I'm about to say, don't lose yourself.
I'm just saying, as a team that's 6-4, I believe in these dudes. I truly do. I'm not gonna let this one L, as bad as it stinks, I'm not gonna let it define our team. But I do.
I will. But
if we go out there and get our ass beat to Denver, hey man, it's gonna be a long bye week.
Look, man, what's the one thing we just don't want to happen as Falcons fans? What's the one goddamn thing we asked for?
Choke! Stop choking!
Damn, just don't fucking embarrass us.
Damn, would you have rather lose the Saints game like that or lose by 30 to the Saints? Would you have rather lose?
Oh my God! Nah, after what happened last time, I can't take another one of those. I can't take I might have wanted that one more just so I could cut the game off sooner. But at the same time, hell no. After they would have styled on us again.
For sure.
Boy, they would have styled. They would have been throwing the ball up 30. They would have tried to ran it up. They would have put out all the trick plays. God damn, man. Ooh. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up there. I don't wanna go back into that negative place. Like I said, at the end of the day, it's just one game. We're gonna be pissed for now. And then next week gonna be happy, and then we're gonna be pissed about that instead. So, have a good one. Wish the Falcons luck. I promise we'll be way more positive on the next episode because while Denver is a tough opponent in Denver, they ain't that damn scary. All right. So like, subscribe, share, hit the little bell when you want to know some real niggas uploading. Have a good one. Peace.
Peace.